A night of restlessness has left me feeling fairly groggy this morning. The events of the previous day intruding on my mind. The memory of how Emmy felt against me. The memory of our wrestling match. And most bothersome, the memory of her nightmare. She was in so much pain. I can't stop wondering what it was like for her to wake up when nobody was there. The shower knocks me awake. What? The shower shocks me awake with hot water. Awake, but still worried. What will happen today? Will things go back to normal? End of the episode. Back to the status quo. Do you shower before a run? I would shower after, because you'd stink in class. There was a connection yesterday, something that nearly pushed us past the boundaries of normal friendship. Would that have been so bad? My mind goes to the look in Emmy's eyes after our pillow fight. It almost seemed like she was daring me to go on. Almost. I don't know for sure. Anyway, the track's captain probably first in her affections. But even as I say that, my mind is already snorting derivously. God, I don't know. I'm just looking for an excuse, a reason for everything to go wrong, a reason not to try. It's not as if I've seen the two of them together outside of track practice, as clearly he's never visited. Emmy said as much as herself. Why am I struggling now? If they were so close, surely he'd visit. I'm such a wuss. I have to just go for it anyway. Damn the consequences. That's what Emmy would do, I think. Hell, I know that's what she would do. Which is partially why I'm convinced there's no interest on her end. She hasn't acted either. Maybe because of the track captain, it's possible she's got a bit of unrequited crush thing going on. But it would be able to clarify their relationship. Sure as hell can't be Emmy. She'd probably just laugh and ask why I wanted to know. I'm not ready to answer that yet. Rin would probably just give me some sort of cryptic answer or something, and then with my luck, she'd just ask Emmy, who would ask me why I wanted to know. I've already covered that problem. I wonder, could I get away with asking the nurse? He seems pretty protective of Emmy, and I'm sure he'd know if something was up. And he owes me for not letting Emmy know that he forgot to tell me about her being ill, so he'll keep quiet. What if he asks me why I want to know, though? I can shake him off, just say I'm curious as a friend, but he'll buy that, won't he? Of course. That's settled then. After the run, I'll talk to him. No, he won't, by the way. I'll talk to him while Emmy's waiting outside the office. There's no sign of Emmy when I arrive at the track. Is she still too ill? I decide to give her 10 minutes. I'm a little early. She was a little ill yesterday, so if it takes her a while to show up, it wouldn't be surprising. Still, I'd hate to just waste my time, so I occupy myself by stretching and pacing back and forth anxiously. What if I went too far yesterday? What if she doesn't come because she's embarrassed? What if? You're early again, Hisao. I'm impressed. Just like that, I feel the tension leaving my body. Emmy seems to be bright and cheerful as usual, with no sign that she was even ill the other day, much less had a less than restful sleep. Still, I have to ask. Sleep well last night? It was just a throwaway question, small talk. The sort of thing people ask someone they bump into a cafe while getting their morning coffee. But not for us, at least not for me. I don't know if Emmy realizes that I'm actually concerned about how well she slept last night, but the question does give her pause. After a short moment of what seems like genuinely pondering this, she nods. Yep, sure did. Was it because of me? Did I actually help? Or are you just saying that to get me to stop asking questions? Good to hear. Emmy grins and begins warming up. So, ready to begin? Am I ready? Of course I'm ready. I was born ready. Emmy laughs at my bravado. We take off running. I keep a steady pace the whole time, breathing steadily. I still feel dead at the end, but at least I don't gasp like a fish out of water now. Emmy is positively beaming after the run today. Nice job, Isao, you're improving. You'll be half as fast as me in no time. This last line is delivered with a teasing grin that I've grown all too used to. Oh, how exciting. Emmy begins to run her sprints while I take a cool down lap. She's really pushing herself today. By the time I'm done with my lap, she's laying across one of the bleachers looking exhausted. Goodness, not pushing it a little too much today, are you? You did have a cold, you'll recall. Emmy gives me an annoyed snort and sits up. Bah, I'm just trying to make up for lost time, that's all. I went twice as hard today, you know. A good run always gets the kinks out, you know. Clears the mind, too. Oh? Emmy nods vigorously. Yep. Sorry if you can hear the plane, by the way. There's a plane outside my window. Yep, it's a great outlet for that sort of thing. She does not explain further, so I don't ask. I suspect I know the real reason she went so hard today. being sick and had nothing to do with it. Something's bothering her. Maybe the nightmare, maybe something else. It's not my place to pry. She'd tell me if she wanted me to know. I'm sure that comes in handy. You have no idea. The sincerity in her voice confirms my suspicion. The only problem is, even though I know she'd tell me if she wanted me to know, I still want to know. Something on your mind, then? Emmy doesn't seem surprised by my question. Instead, she shrugs. No, it's not worth getting worried about. She seems as if she's trying to convince herself as much as she's trying to convince me. I open my mouth to ask if yesterday is responsible for her current state of mind, but think better of it. Too much risk of taking the question the wrong way. Besides, I'm not even sure myself what to think about yesterday. Really, I can only get about as far as how it felt to have Emmy sleeping next to me before my brain shuts down. Having her before me now, covered in sweat and looking wryly at me, she makes it difficult to think. Yeah, I hear you. We better run to see the nurse. We're running short on time. Aren't we always? Emmy laughs at this, a dry chuckle that seems most un-Emmy-like. Too true. For a brief moment, she looks old, worn down by some old hurt. But just like yesterday, I can almost see her shouldering the burden and straightening up. Just slightly. Then she's back to being Emmy again. Come on, then, Miss Hal. Racia. With a sudden smile, she darts off. Hey, no fair. Take off after her, knowing I won't catch her, but not caring. Even if there's no chance of catching her, I'll still run after her. Emmy's waiting for me at the door as I arrive. Well, look who finally showed up. Yeah. Enjoy your victory while you can. Emmy grins as the nurse pokes his head out the door. Well, there you are. Come in, Miss Al. In what has become a familiar routine by now, he checks my blood pressure and my heart rate. A bit fast today, isn't it? Yeah, I kind of raced Emmy here. The nurse laughs. That's never a good idea. He leans to whisper in a conspiratory manner. I don't know if you've heard, but Emmy's a bit of a track star. I reel back in mock surprise. Really? She's never mentioned it before. The two of us share a laugh. Did she do okay today? Cold seemed to bother her. Why don't you ask her? He rolls his eyes in exasperation. Of course I'm going to ask her too, but she'll tell me that she didn't have any problems regardless of whether or not she did. So I'm asking you because you're her friend and would probably tell me if she had trouble today. When he puts it that way, it makes a lot more sense. She seemed pretty good today, if a little more tired than usual. She was already feeling better when I dropped by yesterday, so I'm not that surprised. The nurse nods, though I notice he tenses slightly when I mention yesterday's visit. Well, that's good to hear. I figured it was a 24-hour thing. Emmy tends to recover quickly from colds and the like. Hey, speaking of Emmy, is she the track team captain? You know, look, a suspicion crosses his face. Why do you ask? Well, it's just they seem kind of close, and I was curious, you know. Never ask her because that thing would be embarrassing. So far, so good, not really. Now to really sell it. Besides, I think they'd make it a cute couple. The nurse laughs. Well, I don't suppose you're the first to think that. But I think I can say with some certainty that the two of them will never do anything like that. Or are they related? Certainly. Certainty. Yep. Not that I could tell you, of course, confidentiality and all that. Yeah, right. You're holding the secret over my head. That too. Right. Get out of here. I'm a busy man, you know. I roll my eyes at the last statement and head out the door, motioning to Emmy to go in. The whole time I'm trying to keep from doing a celebratory dance. Two of them will never do anything like that. Look, precisely the sort of thing I wanted to hear. I'm half tempted to make the sort of move on Emmy right now, but I think that nurse would probably disapprove. Besides, I still don't know how exactly Emmy feels about me. I mean, it's obvious that she cares as me about as a friend, but something more than that, I can't be certain. Even so, I can't help but feel hopeful. I just need to figure out a good time to tell Emmy exactly how I feel. That puzzle should keep me occupied for the rest of the day, at least. The rooftops is completely deserted. Normally, I could count on Rin to be up here before me. She's strangely absent. I wonder if she's decided to accompany Emmy in the cafeteria for once. That seems pretty unlikely, but it's all I can think of right now. Part of me wants to go look for Rin, but a far larger part of me is too pleased with the way the sun feels on my skin to care. Emmy got Rin sick, if I remember right. This was the day that Rin would be sick, and then she kissed us. She was on medicine. I went to visit her, and she was not wearing clothes and shit. I pick idly at my lunch while I wait for Emmy and Rin to show up. It does not take long for me to hear the sounds of someone coming up the stairs. I wait until the door begins to open before talking. Took you long enough? Kept me waiting, honestly. Is it going to be Lily? Two of you are... Huh? Well, that's odd. The only person standing in the doorway is Emmy, who looks mildly confused. What do you mean, huh? It's me, Emmy. We run in the mornings? She grins, and I feel my heart jump slightly in the chest at the sight. Yeah, I knew that. I'm just confused. Where's Rin? Emmy's grin was replaced by a rather guilty-looking expression. Yeah, about that. I kinda, sorta, gave her my colt. Oh dear. Am I at risk too? Yes, you should be. You slept in the same bed for 5 seconds. It would make sense after all. I mean, I were in close contact the other day. So what did she and Rin do that got her ill? Steady on, old lad. Don't go down that road. Rin's probably just a worse immune system than me. Emmy seemed shocked by my comments, like she hadn't considered that before. I hope not. I'll feel terrible if you get ill because of me, Sal. Oh man, I feel like a fever coming on. Emmy looks horrified and then quickly shifts into a more angry expression. Sal, you stop getting sick this instant. I won't have it. Impulsively, she seizes me by the collar. Are you listening to me, Sal's immune system? Get your ass in gear. I give a smart salute. Duly noted, ma'am. Emmy steps back and nods, satisfied. Good. You are not allowed to miss any of our morning runs, after all. But you missed a morning run. Emmy crosses her arms and looks at me haughtily. Yes, but that's a special case. It was me, and not you. That's not an explanation at all. Emmy looks flabbergasted. You're kidding, right? That explanation makes perfect sense. No, it doesn't. It's a blatant double standard. I don't see what that has to do with anything. Oh, fine. Emmy seems pleased by her victory. Anyway, is Rin gonna be okay? She's not terribly ill, right? Emmy shakes her head. Nope, she'll be fine. I got her some cold medicine that should help her. Although I probably should have made sure she didn't try to take them all at once. She took them all at once. She's done it before, you know. Somehow I don't find all this surprising. That's really funny. If you had done Emmy's first and then saw Rin's, and like you just remember this, that'd be funny. I doubt Rin is one to pay attention to the maximum dosages and such. You should probably check in on her later just to be sure. Emmy shrugs. I'll stop by after practice. She'll be fine until then. I wonder if she kisses Emmy instead because of that. That'd be funny. I nod, figuring that line of conversation is over. The only problem is, I don't know what else to talk about. So, you got any more track meets coming up? It's a terribly roundabout way of seeing if she's free on the weekend. If she's free, maybe I can ask her on a date or something. Well, assuming that I can get myself to actually form the words. Emmy shakes her head. Nah, not for another couple of weeks, I think. The season's winding down. Oh, yeah. Came in right in the middle of things, didn't I? Does that mean exams are coming up soon? I should probably look into that. So what do you do on the weekends if there's not a meet? An eyebrow goes up and Emmy gets a teasing look on her face. You're awfully inquisitive today, aren't you? I shrug and I hope it looks casual. Just making conversation. I don't know what it's like to be a track star, after all. Flattery. She waves a hand idly. I'm not actually that good, you know. You just happen to see me on a good day is all. You liar. Yeah, but humility is a sign of a good athlete. At least that's what my dad used to say. She shrugs and tries unsuccessfully to hide the rather troubled expression on her face she's taken on. Hey, what's up? You seem bothered by something. Emmy starts to deny it and then sighs in defeat. I wonder if she's too tired from being sick to get herself to deny it like usual. Or if she actually trusts me enough at this point to open up. Well, you remember last night. Do I ever? I settle for nodding, however. That's not the first time that's happened to me. Actually, I get them kind of... She pauses as it suddenly occurs to what she's doing. It's almost like she's breaking some sort of personal rule here. But she begins to start up again, choosing her words carefully. Well, not often, but on occasion. It's been one of those weeks where that happens. A sigh escapes her, and then she looks terribly frustrated. I reach over and give her a hug, which, unlike the last time, doesn't seem to shock her. Instead, she seems to relax as my arms wrap up around her. We stay like that for a while. Hey, you know I was serious last night. You really can talk to me if stuff like this is bothering you. It's always difficult to do this sort of thing solo, you know? Emmy smiles and breaks her embrace, but she stays leaning on my shoulder. Thanks, Isao. I'll be fine, I think. I can already see her resembling herself, getting ready to bottle it all up again. Guess that topic's closed now. So hey, given any more thought to that career survey? Can't say I have. I don't tend to plan very far ahead, you know. Although I suppose I could at least start looking into college, huh? I shrug. I suppose, unless you were serious about that pirate thing. Last I checked, pirates didn't have much need for universities. Unless there's, like, a pirate university out there somewhere. Emmy giggles and starts to look like her old self, but there's a new element to her expression. Impish. That's how I'd describe it. Emmy looks impish, looking up at me with her head nestled into my shoulder. Would you come with me if I ran off to be a pirate? Of course I would. Who in their right mind would pass up on an opportunity to be pirates with you? Well, when you put it that way, I'm not sure. She giggles again. I notice that my heart seems to have sped up. It's probably due to Emmy's proximity to me. The hint of strawberries again. I can't help but grin as I gaze down at her. She's happy again. Hey, Highschool. Huh? If you're gonna kiss me, you should probably do it soon. I think the lunch bell's about to ring. My thoughts grind to a sudden halt. She's read us like a book. I'm pretty sure my mouth is hanging open in shock. All I can manage is a strangled, huh? This amuses Emmy even more. You were thinking about it, weren't you? She sits up, bringing her face level with mine. I'd probably enjoy it, you know. You're really, well... She briefly composes herself, looking like she's about to say something important. Before she says anything else, you kiss her right now. Don't let her finish her sentence. Go for it. If you hadn't figured it out by now, I think I've developed a bit of a crush on you. Never mind. You did good waiting. You're gonna have to do something about that. This time, her grin short-circuits several important thought processes. At some point, I turned toward her, and another point of her arms moved to my neck. Yet another... What? Wait, at some point, I turned toward her, and another point, her arms wrapped around my neck. Okay. And at yet another, my arms wrapped around her waist. I'll be damned if I could tell precisely when that happened. Because at this moment, there's only a voice in the back of my head yelling at me to kiss her. I look into Emmy's eyes. There it is. The thing I saw yesterday on the bed. It's there again. It suddenly strikes me that I'm worried. She's worried that I'll reject her. What a silly worry for her to have. Yes, dude. You're so cute. This is like legit the cutest route. Which is weird, because she looks the youngest, and that's the weirdest thing about this whole thing. But whatever. Her lips taste like faintly of strawberries. She leans into the kiss, her arms tighten around the back of her head, my head, making sure that I don't pull away. Not that there was any danger of that. There's a churning feeling in my gut. The world falls away. There's just me and her in this bench. My arms tighten, drawing her waist closer, entranced by the feel of her. I inhale her scent, my mind trying desperately to memorize everything about how she tastes, how she smells, how she feels. The ringing of the bell snaps us both back to reality, and we... Oh god, the background phasing, it was crazy. Then we break the kiss. Emmy's cheeks are slightly flushed, and she seems to be catching her breath. In defense, so am I. We stand there for a few moments, trying to wrap our heads around what we just done. Emmy's the first to break the silence. So? Wanna grab dinner after I'm done with practice? She's so hype. I love this girl. What a coincidence. I was about to ask you the same thing. Well, actually, I suppose it was going to be some kind of proper date on the weekend or something, but that thought was there, I think. Emmy gives me a playful shove. Yeah, right. You were still in shock from how incredibly awesome I am at kissing. We begin to head down the stairs, down to our respective classrooms. Hey, I didn't see you talking immediately afterwards either. That I didn't. See you after practice is how. She leans in quickly, gives me a quick kiss in the middle of the hallway, sending me into another brief state of mental freefall. Misha's gonna hear about this so quick. As I head to my classroom, a giggling Misha greets me. Why, Hee-chan, you romantic you. God damn, did you confess on the rooftop, did you? Actually, I think it was the other way around. This sends Misha into a fresh fit of laughter. Young love is so unpredictable, isn't it? You're telling me, bitch. You're the most unpredictable person in this entire game. This being Misha, I suppose I should have expected her to tease me. I guess. Before I can really respond, Muto's entered the room and Misha skips off to her seat, giggling all the while. I suspect that I'll get a lot of sort of the conversation now, especially seeing as now Emmy kissed me in the middle of the hall. But somehow, I don't care about that. For the first time since arriving here, my heart feels light. As far as I know, sorry, I think I just got really loud for a sec. As far as I know, this is the only time anybody has ever known we're dating any of the characters, right? Lily wasn't there when we were dating Hanako. She was gone that entire time, basically. Emmy never knew we were dating Rin. We did that, again, completely separated from everybody. We were in, like, the art room. We were barely even dating in the whole arc anyway. Shizune, Misha, I don't think ever brought up that we were dating her. She brought up that we were, like, together sometimes, I think, but, like, she never brought up that we were dating. And that I think that's why she even tried kissing us. I assumed she knew that's why she tried kissing us, to ruin it, but I don't think that was even brought up after, as far as I remember. Again, Shizune never knew that we made out with Misha, or fucked Misha, sorry. But this is the first time other characters know that we're dating a character, which is cool. Emmy's route's so much different than everybody else's. It feels like a more traditional, like high school romance, which is funny. For the first time since arriving here, my heart feels light.